This past weekend, I won my first locals tournament. I ran Bloomlordmon, so I'm going to do a deck list of the Bloomlordmon deck. For the eggs, I'm running the 1 of the Gummymon, and I'm running 4 of the Argomon. Now, this is actually what I ran in BT10, but with EX3, we do get a Pomumon that allows us to suspend their Digimon more frequently, so I might opt to go Gummymon to get more draw. This is for the memory, so it depends on what you want to play. If you want more draw, you go with the Gummymon. You want more memory, you go with the Argomon. The Argomon, during your unsuspend phase, when you unsuspend, you gain a memory because you want as much memory as you can get. Yes, you can do a lot with very little, but you want as much as you can. We're gonna talk about the Digimon first because it's a very Digimon heavy deck. So you run the 4 Palmon. This is a requirement. You cannot go less than this 4. These 4 Palmons are key and essential. You want to see this in your opening hand. You see this in your opening hand, you're Gucci. On play, you reveal top 4. You basically can get a 1 card with vegetation or plant in the traits and 1 card with fairy. So it draws you your whole deck essentially, but it also draws you your fairy, which is your Bloomlordmon. Some people, they tech in Cutemon because Cutemon is a fairy, so it is searchable by Palmon. That's it. These 4. Important. Must have. Now, something that we didn't have in BT10 that EX3 gave us is the Pomumon. You need 4 of these Pomumon because it says, your turn, when an effect suspends a Digimon, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So this is our way to consistently mess with their board, right? We have to control their board so that they don't take out our guys. A lot of people playing against this deck is going to be trying to stop your Digivolution cost, is going to be trying to stop you from playing Digimon by effects, and it's going to try to stop you from gaining memory. So those are the 3 things that you really need in this deck. So if they have those out, you can't do what Bloomlord does. So you need the Pomumon to be able to delete their stuff. I run 2 of these for the mirror match and other decks because in BT10 and EX3, there's a lot of players playing Digimon by effects. We like even Examon, they play a level 6 out of their sources for free. Pomumon just says no to that, right? Jesmon plays out all these Sistermon. Can't do it. Bloomlord, right? Your own deck plays by effects. So you also can't play Digimon by effects. So I'm only running 2 just to mess with the opponents. But then you Digivolve on top of it to play out other things when it's your turn, right? So you play it out, you wait for them to waste a turn, and then you Digivolve on top of it. I'm running 2 of the Mushroomon. I am debating going up to 4. We're only running 12 level 3s right now. I'm kind of running a level 12 level 3 and 12 level 4s, and I'll explain why later. But right now I'm only running the 2 Mushroomon. I had the Terriermon, BT3 Terriermon, where you choke out the memory, but it's not searchable, and honestly, in this deck, you just want to see your pieces and win before the other person can do anything, right? Here you go, 12. Your 12 essential rookies. Also, if anybody has more of these pre-release Patamons, let me know. I want it. For our level 4s, you have 4 red Vegemon. They can be played out because they're 3,000 DP or less, and it's vegetation, right? That's why we run it. And it's a 1 Digivolve cost, so you can choke out your opponent. Same thing for this, and also it's a 3 play cost for the red Veggie, so you could just play it out at some point. This is why we don't run a full, like, we're running 12 and 12, because unless you're wanting the Digivolve in the back, right, and be safe, these guys play out for the same cost. And sometimes you just want to play out these guys and go straight into the level 5. The key level 4 for this that you want to see in your hand is the Sunflowmon. Digivolves for 2. When Digivolving, you can suspend one of your green Digimon, including itself, to play out another Digimon that's 3,000 DP or less and has plant, vegetation, or fairy. So again, the Cutemon is playable by this effect, right? Because it doesn't say green. Also, the Inherited is what we're looking at. When an effect suspends one of your Digimon, any Digimon, you get to draw 1. So it's your draw engine as well. Those are basically all that you use for that. Your level 3s, you can kind of play around a little bit more, but the level 4s, those are your 12. You have to have those 12. All right. Agitar is also one of the key pieces of this deck. You run 3 of the Agitar. Inherited, you gain a memory when you suspend a Digimon. So it's very important. When you Digivolve on top of it with Lord Bloom, you're gonna suspend somebody. You gain the memory, and then you gain the memory on top of that. Right? This is why memory blockers are such a counter to this deck. Okay. Now main phase, you can suspend one of your green Digimon to play out a Digimon card with vegetation, 3000 DP. Same thing as Sunflowmon, but it is not when Digivolving. It's once per turn, but it's on main phase. So the thing is with Sunflowmon, you can pass turn and still do it. Agitar, you pass turn, you cannot do it. You have to Digivolve, keep turn, and then suspend. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Cherrymon. Digisorption 2, this is your blocker. You have to have this guy out. This stops them from deleting your little guys. It stops them from deleting your big guys if you want to like redirect. It stops them from hitting into security. It is a once per turn, so you redirect. It is not a block. It's a redirect of the attack. But it has to be suspended, and your other suspended Digimon and the other Digimon have to be suspended for you to direct it into it. So it's a key piece. And Digisorption by 2, so you essentially Digivolve for 1. I run 3 of the Blossomon. I don't run the Argomon that's level 5 because it's not searchable. It's not a mutant. It's a mutant. It is not a vegetation, right? This one's a vegetation. Digisorption 3, essentially Digivolving for free. So you can go to level 5 for free. The level 6s, you have to have 4 of these. You have to. Also, look how beautiful this altar is. I need 3 more, so if anybody got some, let me know. You need 4 of these. When Digivolving, you suspend a Digimon. You may suspend a Digimon. One of your Digimon. And then you gain 1 memory for each suspended Digimon. So you generally want to have 4 Digimon out on the board. Digivolve on top of level 5. Suspending itself. They're all suspended now. He gains 4, right? If you have the Agitar underneath, you gain another 1, so you gain 5 memory, even if you're at 1, right? Digivolve for 4. Gain 1 for the Agitar, and then you gain 4 for him. If you gain 2 memory by this effect, you unsuspend. And you gain piercing, right? So the piercing is only when Digivolving, so you gotta play it a little bit. You gotta be patient with it, right? Sometimes you don't need to, you just go into it, but you wanna be patient, you wanna swing over somebody, right? Delete their guys. Right now, I am only running 2 of the Hydrassi. This is your key piece, right? You want to be able to Digivolve for 5, right? You suspend something, becomes when you suspend something, depending on how many suspended Digimon you have, you gain that memory back. So you could Digivolve this for free if you had enough Digimon out. What it's really important on is the end of turn, one of their suspended Digimon gets thrown to their bottom deck, which is crazy. This is our removal. This is why we need Hydramon. All turns, listen to this, all turns, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, for any reason, for each of your other suspended vegetation, fairy, whatever Digimon, you gain a memory. Meaning when they attack, it's Ice Wall. When they attack, if you have 5 Digimon, they have 3. When they attack, it becomes suspended. Boom. You go all the way to 2. You take the turn. Or sorry, if you have 5 other suspended Digimon, this one doesn't count for itself. Now, if you have 2, then they all count for each other. Debating on going to 3 for this. So far, I haven't needed it, but debating it. Because you draw so much, right? Here is my spice. Shivamon. We do 1 of Shivamon. I don't know if anybody runs it. I'm sure they do at this point. But I was looking at the JP stuff. Nobody runs Shivamon. I want to be able to lock my opponents out of their option. Crimson Blaze is scary. For this deck, if you see Crimson Blaze, you're like, not only does it delete your board, it stops you, basically, deletes your whole board, and it stops you from playing Digimon by effects the next turn. Crazy. This is what you want to run to stop them from using their... They can't Mega Death you, they can't Crimson Blaze you, they can't Fireball you. And I know what you're saying, you're like, oh, what? They just can swing into it. But that's why we run the Cherrymon. If this is suspended, you can't swing over the Shivamon because you're just going to redirect the attack. I run 1 Shivamon. I know people run more. Some people run Nidhogg. I don't love it. The only thing is Shivamon, Nidhogg, not searchable by your deck, right? So if you don't feel like you need it, you run the other Hydramon. So you make it 3 Hydramon or Bloomlord, right? That way you only have 7 level 6s. You don't want to go too heavy, right? So that's what I'm running for the level 6s. It's not always necessary, but it does stop a lot of people. It stops chaos degradation, etc. Tamers, running 2 Mimi. That's it. I was running 3. I dropped it down to 2. I'm debating dropping it down to 1. because it gives Death X another. This is essentially -3 costs for them. You don't need more than 2. If you have 2, you could suspend, pop it out, suspend, push it out, swing for game. So we don't run the Arbormon, right? We don't need it. You're gonna be suspending it, whatever. Or if you already have one in raising, you only have the one, you suspend, push, you win. So there's no need for 3. I know you want to see it, but it just clutters up the deck. 2 Mimis. Works well. 1 hidden potential. If you see it, amazing. Go for broke if you see this. If you don't, whatever. It's just a 1 of. I love it. I like it a lot. I do run the 3 Samadhi. I had dropped it to 2 because I was like, well, my other Digimon's gonna suspend things with the Pomumon and whatever. But if you have Samadhi, basically how it works is Bloomlord is like one big giant turn. The next turn, it's gonna be harder because it's gonna be harder to suspend your Digimon. Samadhi helps you suspend an extra Digimon while suspending their Digimon. And it just adds consistency to being able to delete their guys and getting rid of annoying bodies that are stopping you from doing things. I'm running 3 right now. I might go down to 2, maybe add another level 3. But right now I'm running 3. I was running 2 Grandel Soul. I dropped it down to 1. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this one because Hydra does it so much better. But if you Hydra and all that stuff, and then you're still at 0 or whatever, and they have 2 bodies out, you can rely on the Hydra to suspend 1, right? And then to bounce 1. And then you play this for 6 because usually you'll have 2 suspended Digimon. You play it for 6, you suspend, you toss both the bodies. Completely clear their board. Yes, you give them a lot of memory, but they can't do much with it, right? They just have to rebuild in raising or whatever. And if you see it in security, it saves you. It's a huge security bomb. So you just hope that you see it in there. I may drop this to 0, but right now I like the Grandel Soul, so I'm going to keep 1. And 3 memory boost. We need to see our pieces. We need to have enough memory to do what we need to do. 3 memory boost. Very, very important. And that's it. That's the whole deck. It's fairly simple. It's straightforward. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. Also, how cool is it, this card? God, it's so beautiful. It's a majestic flower knight. It's like a tough, masculine knight that is also very like effeminate. It may or may not remind me of myself, so you know, that's why. Green and pink also. Green and pink. Right? Like, I have to run the deck. And EX3 just made the deck so much better. Go try it out, see what you guys think. Let me know what you're running, and let me know what you like. And maybe we can do a little playtest.